Well, good evening, everybody. This is the MCU's Bleeding Edge, and I think that probably the majority of our viewers for this show are going to end up being after the live stream, unfortunately, since I really didn't promote this one very much. But either way, I've got as always, eclectic and dynamic guest panel here to kick this show off tonight. This is going to be an MCU News Roundup special. We've got some really cool articles to check out together. And we're going to do a watch and react to some Spider-Man 3 trailers as well. So just to give everybody a rundown on who's on the show tonight, we've got Jesse Starcher, the host of the Source Material Comics podcast over on the Radulich In Broadcasting Network, a friend of the MCU's Bleeding Edge. Good to see you, Jesse.
Hey, glad to be here, Jeff. I appreciate you inviting me on. Can't wait to talk some.
Hey, I'm really happy to finally have you on, man. It's great that you're
able. We've been trying to, I don't know, probably about a month now, trying to figure out a time where I could get on here and actually enjoy your show instead of you coming over in my network and doing things over there. So I'm glad to be here, man.
Well, I'm delighted to have you, man. And we've got, once again, we've got Andrew back from GNN. It's good to see you, Andrew.
Good evening, Jeff. Thanks for consistently inviting me again.
Of course, man. Of course. The pleasure's always all mine, man. We've got Alexis, also a frequent guest on the Radulich In Broadcasting Network and on the Bleeding Edge, and also the creator and owner of Honeysuckle Rose Creatons and a Comic-Con vendor. Hey, Alexis.
Ooh. Glad I was able to get here on time. Like I said, had to dash over here from a company Christmas party, hence why I'm still all glammed up.
Well, you look nice. We're happy to see you. It's good to have you back on the Bleeding Edge. It's been a while.
Thank you. It has been very busy.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Hey, what's going on, William? Shout out to Geek News Now Network. And we also have one last member of the panel, and that is another good friend of the MCU's Bleeding Edge, veteran comic book collector, and also a Jeff. What's up, Jeff?
What's up? Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, it's good to have you, man. Good to have you. So anyways, let's get this whole thing started. We're going to start right off with the Spider-Man 3rd trailer that's actually official Marvel Studios.
That spell where you wanted everyone to forget that Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Be careful what you wish for. We started getting some visitors from every universe.
The multiverse is real?
Looks like we got competition. You're not Peter Parker.
I am so confused right now.
Parker, we need to send them back.
You're thinking, hey, I'm about to do something that could break the universe. Run it by us next time.
Deal.
Let's catch some multiverse men.
Peter, you're struggling.
Look, there has to be another way!
They're a danger to our universe.
Have everything you want, while the world tries to make you choose.
Is that a dinosaur?
I'll fix this, but I'm gonna need some help.
You're flying out into the darkness to fight ghosts. They all die fighting Spider-Man. It's their fate. This is why I never had kids. You're not gonna take this away from me. Do you know Peter Parker, who's Spider-Man?
Yes.
Is that him?
No.
This is all my fault. I can't save everyone.
I'm sorry, kid.
That was cool.
Okay, one more. Now, this next one is not official Marvel Studios trailer. It's a fan trailer. I want to make that clear. This is not like legitimate.
Looks like we got competition.
I've only had 1 week where my life has felt normal. That was when you found out.
When you botched that spell where you wanted everyone to forget the Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Ever since I got bit by that spider, my entire life got screwed up.
We started getting some visitors. From every universe.
You're not Peter Parker. Hello, Peter.
They're a danger to our universe.
I'm sorry, kid.
Yeah, me too.
Don't. There are others out there. We need to send them back. Scooby-Doo this crap.
I can't save everyone. I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Dr. Otto Octavius.
Wait, no, seriously, what's your actual name?
Just real quick, who's got the background noise of someone speaking Spanish?
Oh,
Yeah, I can hear that
you picked
too.
that up? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay, hold on. That's why I'm watching on the phone, but like in 2 rooms away, though. And the door's closed. Wow. Okay.
It's good ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No judgment. I was just curious where that was.
No
I wanted to make
worries.
sure that, yeah.
Let me see.
I thought maybe you were watching that same show that I was trying to show you earlier that me and Andrew have seen with the Stevie Wonder shit. Which I hopefully will get a chance to show you sometime.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
like I
just
said,
mo-
no judgment.
No, I
Jesse
mean,
knows this that this one tends to interrupt most of our shows, so
thanks.
no judgment.
No, it's all
If,
right.
if there ain't no background noise, I'm waiting for my kids to come down the stairs anytime, so don't worry.
Perfect. So shout out to William out there, the host of the Geek Gauntlet podcast with GNN. William's show is going to be live tomorrow night, I believe at 10 p.m. Eastern. Him and Shaw and Janae, and I don't know if Kat is going to be with them or not, but they're going to be live on the Geek Gauntlet podcast. So if you catch this show tomorrow or whatever, Saturday, you should probably check them out tomorrow night. So anyways, guys, the Spider-Man trailers, obviously, again, the second one was fan made, but in that third official trailer, Andrew, you're right. I saw it now. That is the other 2 Spider-Men in the trailer. You can see it clearly. That all 3 of them are together.
Right.
So I mean, at this point, I don't see why they would have done that if Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire aren't going to be in the movie.
Well, it's interesting because the scene that they're in was in the previous trailer, but the other Spider-Men were edited out. There was a big thing about you see Spider-Man jumping towards Electro, Sandman, and the Lizard, but from the angle, it's abundantly clear that the Lizard is jumping towards someone else because it's like, here's Spider-Man and the Lizard's jumping down here. It's like, I'm sorry, what the hell is the Lizard jumping towards? So we know that Marvel has a tendency to edit stuff out like that. They did that with Civil War when they actually edited Spider-Man out. So the scene that they've shown all 3 of them, we knew that was going to be the scene they were going to pop up in.
Okay. No, that makes sense. They do a lot of that. I've seen them do that before with Avengers trailers too, where they won't have people in certain scenes, but then later on in the movie you see them. So going to you, Jesse. what's your take on this whole situation with these Spider-Man trailers, man? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm excited, dude. I mean, listen, there are plenty of things that are happening in this new Spider-Man movie that check a lot of boxes for me. I'm a big fan of like alternate realities. I really enjoyed WandaVision for that, for what happened there. So getting this multiverse going in the Spider-Man films is fantastic. I'm very, very excited. So, to watch everybody kind of play off of everybody from other movies is really, really cool. To see this actually in a live action form is another thing that really excites me as well. I'm just, one of the things that sticks out to me, and bear with me, I'm a fan of a comic that came out from Marvel called The Exiles. And I mentioned this when we were talking, I think I was talking about What If on the show over on the Radulich In Broadcasting Network. There was a group, a team of superheroes that went through universe to universe, kind of like Quantum Leap stuff. Well, anyway, the whole point of me bringing that up is the way that they did it is they had this wrist thing that went around their wrist, and they were able to, like, it controlled how they were able to hop. And if you notice, now I'm sure it's some kind of Doctor Strange thing, but I noticed that one of this, I think it's our Peter Parker of the MCU is able to, like, pulls his arm up and you see the stuff show up on his arm. Now, has anybody heard as to what in the world that is? Because I'm like sitting there thinking it's called, in the comics they call it the Talus. That's in the Exiles. But anybody have any theories, or is there anybody said anything as to what that could possibly be, or how that figures into what we're going to get?
It looks. I was saying, I thought it looks a lot like the. I thought it looked. Sorry, Jeff. I thought it looked a lot like the time spell that Doctor Strange cast on himself when he went to fight Dormammu in the first Doctor Strange movie. Except it's gold, not green.
Right. Okay. Jeff, what were you thinking?
That's you, Jeff.
Either Jeff.
I think we need to specify. Is it? Yeah, it's like. Sorry.
Are you talking about where Spider-Man's standing there like in his stealth suit, and he's holding he's got the spell around his wrist? Yeah. That's what I was trying to figure that out too. I mean, if you look back behind there's a figure behind him that almost looks like Electro behind him. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure because it looks like there's bolts coming out behind him, like off on out of his arms.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I was wondering like how Spider-Man, if the way they make it sound is like he caught him going back in time and changing, trying to do the spell himself. I don't know. I'm curious to see how that works.
Andrew, you have any thoughts?
I mean, I wasn't even thinking of like any time travel stuff. Like I've seen the similar scene with him doing like that thing like so many times by this point. Like the last week or two, seen that exact same scene. And I was thinking it's something to do with. I'm wondering if it's. Oh, sorry. I'm wondering if it's some kind of like restraint or something to do with maybe like capturing like the villains or something. I'm thinking because I'm thinking like how. Because I think remember you had like, Doctor Strange has that box, right? Like that box, and it has like a similar band thing going on. So I'm wondering if there's like a connection between that box he holds and like the whatever that visual, that holographic display thing on his wrist. I'm wondering. I thought because they have like similar colors, they're both like amber and gold looking. So I thought there might be a connection there.
It's probably something really insignificant, but I mean, it's in the trailer, and I'm like, what is he doing there? And I've seen it in the comics, or at least something similar to that in the comics. I'm going to be talking Spider-Verse on my show, and same thing happens in Spider-Verse. They have these things that go around their wrists that allow them to hop reality to reality to get out of there. So I'm really kind of hoping it's probably just a slight nod, which is usually what we get from the Marvel
Jesse, I'm
movies.
sure you caught some of the What If Disney Plus series, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So you remember when Doctor Strange cast that spell to shield all of the other Guardians of the Multiverse or whatever? Right. I'm thinking it's going to be a similar type deal like that, like essentially, because what it looks like to me from what I've seen in these trailers is like, it looks to me like Doctor Strange is telling Spider-Man and all his buddies and everything that they've got to wrangle up all these villains from the multiverse, right? Like they've got to go bring them in or whatever. To do what? I have no idea. I'm thinking that that box that Spider-Man tries to steal from Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange gives them the, the astral,
the
astral projection punch.
Yes. That box has the seal of Vishanti on it. And I believe that what that means is that box is like where he wants those villains to go. Like they're going to go in the box somehow. And what I think is going on is the reason that they're struggling about the box and like fighting over it is because you can see that Spider-Man becomes friends with Doc Ock. In the trailer, you can see that they obviously buddy up. And I think that, Spider-Man is kind of like trying to save Doc Ock, or maybe like who knows, all of them. But I mean, going off that, what I was just talking about, Andrew, now that you've had a chance to watch these trailers so many times now, has anything different popped up for you? Have any new thoughts?
I mean, I'm just really excited that the movie even exists, and that we've seen so much about it. Honestly, it's freaking going to be amazing. Does anybody have their tickets for opening night, by the way?
I actually need to buy mine tomorrow. I am doing a double date with my husband, not you, Cleo, and 2 friends of ours. But we've been having trouble communicating on what times we all want to go.
I see. I tried to do the thing like everybody else, like get it like as soon as they went on it. Like my phone app for the Cinemark, like kept crashing. So I had to wait till the next morning.
Yes, most of the ticket sites all crashed on Spider Monday.
Ours crashed. We couldn't even get them.
I had to wait till like the next morning, like early, like around 6. Like when I get up for work, I got 5, and then I was able to get 1 seat by itself. So it's not a big deal. But I was like, okay, well at least the movie won't be spoiled for me, because it's like the earliest showing like at 3 something in the afternoon. So, but back to Jeff's original question. One of the things I'm still wondering, like we've seen it a couple times at this point, is like what is going on with Doc Ock's arms? With like, is that coming from like Spider-Man suit, like the red layer or whatever that is of metal? It's on, like, is that part of? I'm wondering, if he does team up with him, so to speak, is he gonna like let him use the nano machine things or whatever? Like, is that part of that? I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it. For the love of God, Doc! I thought it looked more like his suit had sampled the nanotech and was adding it to its own.
That's what it looks like too. But I'm just curious about that. Other than that, I haven't really processed much more about it. I mean, I've seen the same trailers like over and over at this point, so I don't have much more to add to it, Jeff. Sorry.
That's okay. When is the official release date for Spider-Man 3?
The 17th. 2 weeks from today. Technically Thursday, but you know.
All right, I might as well get that. No, go ahead. I was actually going to go to you, Jeff. Jeff, I don't know how many times you've seen the Spider-Man trailers. Was that the first time you saw those Spider-Man trailers?
No. I've seen them several times like everybody else. But I've probably seen a lot of fan-made trailers too, you know. But I'm just curious to see, like, there's a spot, it flashes real quick and you have to pause it and really look at it. And I tried detail on it and I can't get to detail outright. It's probably a trick or something to it, but I can't tell if there's going to be all 3 Spider-Man, or if that's like, I don't know. It's just really strange. And then I'm wondering if we're going to have all of the villains in, you know what I'm saying? Or if it's just going to be like flashes of them and then they're, you know what I'm talking about? You're just going to be here for a little bit and gone.
If we don't get a scene with all the villains and all the Spider-Men, I do know that the fans are going to riot.
Right, because of the Sinister Six, you know, they were pushing the Sinister Six for so long. I mean, I see the spot with Sandman in the background. I'm wondering if we're going to see, you know, a lot of Sandman, or if that's just going to be, you know, a spot and then he's gone. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm just wondering if they're going to have him actually, pull some screen time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's going to be
Which
tough.
villain are you guys?
Everybody shine.
Oh, sorry, Jess.
No, you're right. I was just going to say it's going to be tough to let everybody shine because you got so many.
Right.
So many players in that thing, and to give everybody enough screen, I guarantee you we're probably going to walk away going, man, I wish I saw some more of this character or this character. And I have a feeling, obviously we're getting a nice shot in the trailer of some of the main villains, but they're pulling everybody from every universe. There are going to be, you don't know what you're going to get. Other spiders may even show up. I'd love to say, I doubt it happened, but maybe Spider-Gwen shows up. Who knows?
You got your ticket?
Just somebody. Nice.
There we go.
Awesome.
I was wondering what you were doing on your phone. I'm like, he's probably ordering the ticket right now.
Oh, come on, Andrew. I'm not. Don't lie. You probably figured I was talking to some chick.
No, because we started talking about the game tickets, and that's when you went to your phone. So I just put 2 and 2 together.
I do that all the time, man. I'll be on. Alexis knows. I'll be on the show, and somebody will mention that the tickets are out for a movie or whatever, and I'll just grab my cell phone and order them right there, like on the spot.
He has.
So,
by the way, I'm sorry that Cleo's apparently co-opted my camera.
Oh, that's okay.
Smile, Cleo.
Hey.
You're famous. You're famous. She's a little pain in the butt.
When Cleo's not barking, Cleo is my buddy. But
I can't get her to move.
So, as far as what you were mentioning, Andrew and Jesse, I don't know what if you have any thoughts on it, but with Doc Ock's arms and everything, it has that red trim to it. I don't remember. I don't remember his arms looking like that.
No.
Back in the old Spider-Man movie. So I'm wondering what the hell's going on with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any clue. I mean, it could be one of a billion things. It could be just like Alexis had mentioned, like the co-opting of the nanites or whatever it is. Who knows? I mean, or it could just be like, hey, we wanted to make them look a little bit better for the new film. But
well, I mean, we're getting a completely different look at Electro, so
yeah.
Right.
Yes, right. I'm so glad he went with because the blue
and that looks so much better too.
Yes.
Yeah, they found a way to do the Electro's mask with that star effect, and it looks good.
It does. Because I think the
that's
blue
what I mean.
one,
I hope they give him some screen time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the blue one that he had before, that was supposed to be like from the Ultimate Comics, right? I think. So like the one I'm more familiar with is like the greenish yellow one that we just saw. So I'm glad that that he's back like that.
What do y'all think about I'm sorry, Alexis. What do y'all think about the black suit on Spider-Man?
It's not Venom.
No, I know that. I'm just saying, what do you think of the suit? It looks pretty cool.
It looks good. It does look good.
Some people have pointed out that it looks like it has like frayed wires like sticking out like in certain places. So that there's like an idea that supposedly it's designed, or maybe it's like a reverse version of the metal suit he has. If it's supposed to be kind of like a way to deal with or combat with Electro by putting like the metal parts on the inside and like the flipping it inside out or something. Some people have said that, but I mean it looks kind of like it could be an inverted like Iron Spider suit, like just everything's on the inside kind of thing. Because it has like wires and stuff hanging out, so food for thought.
Yeah, or it could be.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was random.
There you go. So, as far as the Spider-Man 3 trailers go, everybody obviously, I'm sure we all will agree that we saw Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, or at least somebody in Spider-Man suits. Right there with Tom Holland Spider-Man. Do you guys honestly think that we're going to get a Venom cameo at the end of the film, Alexa?
No, I don't think so. And honestly, I hate to say it, I think it would be a waste.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that.
Go ahead, John.
Oh, I don't think that'll happen either. I'm right there. I agree. I don't see Venom making a surprise entrance there. It would be completely out of.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
I mean, it would feel weird. Plus, they would, again, talking about screen time. If you just give them that those few minutes, people are going to be like clamoring for more, but who knows?
Yeah, I feel like if Venom showed up, it'd be like, "Hey, Venom's here," and he walks off stage.
Right.
Yeah, jazz hands.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Mid-credit scene or
15
something.
second spot, and that's it.
Uh-huh.
So, which villain are you guys most excited to see in this?
The Lizard looks freaking awesome.
Electro.
Lizard looked awesome.
I mean, Doc Ock. I think watching Molina play that again will be fantastic. I can't wait to see it. Loved him in, it was the second Spider-Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2.
It's been a while. You guys know I've never seen the second Amazing Spider-Man, so I'm missing out on
What?
the Electro. Yeah,
What?
I'm missing out on that.
Missing out on Electro, the Rhino, and the emo goblin, as I call him.
I think I walked in the room when my daughter was watching it. I caught like 10 minutes of it, so I knew the Rhino was in there. And then I walked back out. I took my daughter to see the first Amazing Spider-Man. That was like one of the first few movies I took her to. And then I never caught the second one. Just never did.
God bless you.
Thank you. I'm most excited. Thank you, Cleo, for Green Goblin to come back. I do love it when Willem Dafoe chews the hell out of the scenery.
Yeah, he can do that.
Yeah, he's a great actor. It was funny the other night. Andrew and I were doing a show with Sally, the MCU girl, who is all of like 21 years old, and she didn't know who Christopher Walken was.
Oh my God.
It was really funny. It was funny as hell. These young people, man, I'm telling you. Hey, have you guys
How can you not know who Christopher Walken is? He's still making movies.
Have you guys seen this shit yet?
Everyone, right? Get in there. Boy, put on your face. Fuck, boy. Puss. Get out there, Robbie. Fuck, boy. Bad boy, Phil. Get up. Sit down.
What was that?
Yeah, I sit here in the dark. I have no idea what you played.
I have no idea. All I heard was
He just
all
showed
I
a
heard
clip
was
of Batman. He just showed a clip of guys in Batman,
You didn't miss
Robin,
much.
and
You didn't miss much.
Spider-Man onesies fighting each other.
Nice.
Andrew, tell me what that was not dope as hell.
That was confusing because in my mind I'm like, wait, why is it? Are they from two different like franchises and universes fighting each other? I had like no context.
They were beating the hell out of each other too.
I was
I
trying to
couldn't
figure
tell.
out why it was like, okay, so they're fighting Batman. No, they're fighting Robin. No, they're fighting Spider-Man. I didn't get the point of the fight.
Listen, I didn't realize they were fighting. I thought something else was going on, just from what I could hear. Okay, I get that one. That sounded like somebody got punched.
That was the clip of Lindsay Ellis getting hit in the face with hot dogs.
No, that was Brie Larson's interview video for Kevin Feige for Captain Marvel. But
it was Lindsay Ellis getting hit in the face with hot dogs.
Oh, okay.
I'll leave it to my imagination.
Yes, believe me, it was very funny, Jesse.
I believe you, sir.
If Mark was here and he saw it, he would crack up.
Yes. Okay. I believe that too.
Okay, so check it out. Article number 1, starting things off, getting off of Spider-Man 3. Marvel's Blade actor couldn't sleep thanks to surprise MCU cameo. Obviously, everybody here on the panel already knows what we're talking about here, what we're talking about. Has everybody here seen the Eternals?
Ooh.
No, I haven't seen it.
I have not seen it.
I have.
I've heard all about it.
Andrew?
I was going to say, Jesse, did you hear our review of it?
I saw it. I saw it.
I've heard a lot of reviews about it. So if you want to spoil it,
Are you
spoil
talking
it.
about the review on the Radulich In Broadcasting, Alexis, or the one we did?
The one y'all did.
Well, I was asking if Jesse saw either of them. So.
Oh, okay. You guys need to
I
go
was going to say, I've heard a couple of podcasts about it. But go ahead.
No, Jesse, you got to go see that film, man. You got to check it out.
I hear some good stuff about it. I'm one of these guys that doesn't get to the theater very often, And then my daughter goes and gives me a full report when she comes back. You want to know what the full report was? Harry Styles is so hot. That's all I got. So
all right. Well, at this point, it's been so long since the Eternals came out that I'm sure you guys have already heard about the fact that in one of the end credit scenes, Kit Harington's Black Knight, when he goes to open up a box with the ebony blade in it, what Blade pops out, and what does he say to him, Alexis?
Well, it's just a voiceover, but you hear him say something to the effect of, "Are you sure you want to do that?"
Yeah. But we find out later it's Blade.
Yeah, I thought it was Nick Fury at first. Forgive me, Mahershala Ali and Samuel L. Jackson do kind of sound a little alike. They're both very deep voices. So, I mean, I'm thrilled that the Blade's popping up. I mean, how freaking long has it been since they made the announcement that he was going to play the part?
Yeah, it's been a
while. Jeff,
2 years, maybe?
Justin, were you guys aware of that post-credit scene already?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were.
Yeah, I'm fired up about that credit scene.
Well, I mean, listen, there really wasn't that much to see or hear, really. It was a really short thing, so you haven't missed out on anything by not seeing it. At that point, going to you, Jeff, what do you think about the fact that they decided to go ahead and wrap and tie up Kit Harington's Black Knight to Blade right off the bat?
I'll tell you, it's exciting because Black Knight and Blade go back, but they go back to the supernatural side, and it ties into Captain Britain and the English supernatural, like the MI6 and the MI13. It even tied, like, there's some characters in Captain Britain. There's one guy that's a squirrel that he constantly is taking the image of John Lennon, and that's his image, and that's how he hides as John Lennon. And he's part of the MI6 with Blade, Black Knight, Captain Britain, and there's a couple other supernatural. Basically, they're supernatural hunters, Dracula hunters, basically werewolf hunters. Yeah, it's that really got me fired up when I heard about that scene because, I mean, Blade and Black Knight go back quite a bit, but it's on the supernatural side, which I think is pretty cool.
Is that the
especially with all this time travel stuff going on?
No, go ahead, Andrew.
I was gonna say that's the Excalibur team or something like that, right? Something to do with Excalibur,
right? Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Captain Britain, wasn't there a name drop of the Braddocks recently in a Marvel property?
Yeah,
I think it was
an Endgame.
Winter Soldier, wasn't it?
Not Endgame. It was an Endgame.
Was it Endgame?
Yeah, when Captain America goes back in time and he sees Peggy Carter, she's on the phone talking about Agent Brad.
Right. That's right.
Oh, okay. All right.
I completely missed that.
So
yeah, this is something about Braddock's taking care of something.
Jesse, bouncing the same thing off you. What are your thoughts? I mean, was that your first time hearing about that, or did you already know about it?
Well, yeah, Jeff just educated me. I had no idea those two were even connected. I read the article and I was like, okay, this is interesting. How are they tied together? Clearly, this is a spot in Marvel Comics that I have got to, there's a bit of a dark area there because I didn't know that they even were together at any point. I mean, I'm familiar with both characters. Black Knight less, more Blade. But it's, hey, that's cool. That's why would he be concerned with Black Knight picking up the blade? Like, can maybe somebody shed some light as to why he would say, "Are you sure you want to do that?" Like,
I think he's referring to, "Are you sure you want to do that? Like, are you ready to do this supernatural thing?"
Got it. Okay,
that's what I think. But now I'm purely speculating. Go ahead.
It could also be the fact that you guys, okay, those who haven't seen Eternals did hear about the ending with the Celestial showing up, right?
Right.
Yeah. So this Celestial, I can't even remember the name of this particular Arishem. Yeah, Arishem basically shows up on Earth, like parts the skies, and there is a giant ass Celestial head, grabs Cersei, Kingo and the inventor
Fastos. I forget.
Fastos, yeah, and pulls them off Earth. And this happened with Kit Harington's character Dane watching. He was actually just about to tell her about his family's backstory when this showed up. And I thought that the whole "Are you sure you want to do this?" was because it was it was pretty clear that he was going for the ebony blade to try to save Cersei.
Yeah.
Okay.
That could be it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it could. There's a lot of different directions that it could play out altogether. But Andrew, what are your thoughts? I mean, how do you feel about that tie-in of the Black Knight with Blade?
Well, like I mentioned to you last time, Jeff, my knowledge of the Black Knight as a character only goes back to like the Silver Age comics when it's like his uncle, the guy, he's like the villain with like the winged horse, and like that's my only touchstone for the Black Knight. I think he has like a sword that I don't know if he has the same sword or if it's like a replica or something, but he does.
No, it's
like
the same sword. It's the same.
Oh, it is?
sword.
Okay then. So he has like, I guess I don't know if the horse is mechanical. Then something about him is mechanical. I can't remember which thing, but he's like a villain or whatever. And then I know in the comics, like the character who's played by Jon Snow, I always forget his name. Kit
Harington.
Kit Harington, there you go. That's his nephew. He's supposed to just like refers to his like uncle being like the guy, the original Black Knight and all that. So I don't like when Jesse was talking about him being connected to Blade and all that stuff about the comics. Like my literacy of the comics is very, very low. I don't know that much, honestly. My only touchstones is whatever was TV cartoon wise for X-Men and Spider-Man in the 90s, and whatever's in the video games for some of the Marvel games that I played in the MCU. That's like my only touchstone. So I don't really have much to really add to that. I know I've seen the first Blade, the Wesley Snipes movie, but that's about it. So
I did just look up the Ebony Blade. Got a little more info here for those who are not familiar with it. Forged by Merlin from the Starstone meteorite, the Ebony Blade was enchanted to cut through any object, to prevent the death of its wielder, and to deflect any magic, but it also carries a curse that would slowly corrupt any user and cause a lust for violence, bloodshed, and death.
Oh, well, then that might be why he's saying, "Are you sure you want to do that?"
Yeah, and that's why he was so hesitant to pick it up, and he actually said something like, "Forgive me for doing it," because he knows picking that thing up exactly what's about to happen.
Like Jeff pointed out, there is a major supernatural element to the Ebony Blade where there is like a potential for corruption and for malice and for evil to be begotten from the usage of the blade. It's enchanted. It's extremely powerful. I mean, essentially, it turns into the whoever wields it into the Black Knight. And from a supernatural standpoint, it makes perfect sense that Blade would show up, kind of doing his usual thing, and just keeping an eye out when it comes to anything supernatural that's bad or not good for anybody. I think this article is kind of interesting because, of course, we all know that Mahershala Ali is going to be Blade when they do the Blade film in Phase 5. Ali mentioned that this was the first time he'd ever had a role in the movie where he wasn't on set for filming, where he usually doesn't like how he sounds anyway during his early days. Although it was a challenge, he did show gratitude for the experience, since it was the first time he felt like his time in the MCU was truly moving forward. This was on Colbert. You lose a lot of sleep over it. Like I was losing a lot of sleep over this line because ideally you want to be talking once you are filming 100% of the time. My first day on any set, on any job, I hate it. I hate how I sound. I don't believe myself. You're trying to get comfortable in the character. So to have to talk before you're even actually filming was challenging. But I'm grateful for it because it made me feel real. So it's like, okay, now we're going. You know what? I like that a lot. I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense because I'm sure all of you have probably heard that there's been some setbacks with the the pre-production of Blade. So, what are y'all's thoughts on just the whole concept of the idea that we're going to get a Blade in the MCU here eventually? Jesse?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm excited, dude. I remember watching the first Blade with Wesley Snipes and just coming to the realization that it was rated R, right? I'm not misremembering.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
Correct? Yeah.
It was.
Oh, it was very rated R.
Yep.
And it was, it was one of those movies that, hey, this is a Marvel character, but it was widely accepted as just, no, it's a great vampire killer movie. Now we have the backing of the MCU and bringing that character into something that's been established as the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What's he going to mean to it? And I love the actor we're getting there. Boy, I wish I could pronounce the name. I'll go with his last name, Mr. Ali. Mr. Ali is coming in and he's going to do just fine, I believe. I've seen him in other things. And I love this article pointing out the fact that, he's taking this role very seriously. Like, this dude does not want to, he ain't even on the screen. He's just delivering how many lines? Like one sentence? Did he go any further other than just like, yeah. And he's like, I want to make sure that I get this just right because it's going to set the tone for his character later on down the line. That to me is a great actor who's taking the role very seriously. So we may be in for a treat when Blade hits the screens.
Alexis.
I am really excited about this. I love Mahershala Ali. It's actually kind of funny him playing Blade because who here saw Alita Battle Angel?
I love that movie. So good. Loved it.
Okay, he's in that.
Yeah. He shows up in the limo and everything with the shades. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because a girlfriend of mine saw that movie before I had a chance to go see it. She says, it's Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes is back. I'm like, Wesley Snipes isn't acting anymore. And when I saw him, I'm like, that's not Wesley Snipes. That's Mahershala Ali. But at the same time, I'm like, I can understand why you would get the two confused. So yeah, having him play the part, I'm like, I can't think of anyone better. But I'm not going to lie. Someone made a suggestion a while ago for the Blade movie, and I don't think they're going to go with it, but I would love to see this. They suggested that we actually do the 1970s Blade.
Oh, with the goggles and the stakes?
With the goggles, the stakes, the full blaxploitation, funkadelic style that we saw in the comics.
Yeah, that would be
something. Open
else.
Shirt and the flared pants and everything, because there is something very iconic about that. And I don't think we're going to get it, but I would kill to see that on the big screen. I think that would just be so cool.
It would be an absolutely different take than what I think anybody would be expecting. I mean, exactly. a lot of people would want it, but nobody would expect it at all.
And Blade ages slower. That is, from the comics. He's half vampire, he slows at a very deaccelerated rate. So he could still not. So it's like, from the 70s to modern day, he wouldn't look that much older.
Yeah. I hear
Jeff, you have anything to drop on this?
I remember seeing the Blade movie, I think it was like early part of 1999. I was at a convenience store looking for a videotape, something to watch. I looked down and there it was. And I grabbed it and went home, put it in. It was the first time that I had seen a Marvel, the first Marvel movie. That was the first one I saw was Blade. And it was awesome. I mean, that movie was awesome. And I've watched all the rest of them and watched them several times since. But, yeah, I'm fired up about Blade being there. And it says on that article that they're going to start production in July. So I can't wait. I mean, I really can't. I can't wait to see it. And I'm, too, like everybody else, I have a hard time saying his name. But Mr. Ali's an awesome actor. I mean, and he's going to do an awesome job as Blade. I don't have no fear whatsoever. I think he's going to do a great job.
Well, I just want to really quick just take 1 second and just mention really quick that I know it's kind of crude and rudimentary for me to slap up this link like this on the show, but I'm going to drop this link in the actual description for the video. And that is an article that Andrew actually just wrote reviewing the new Resident Evil film. Correct, Andrew?
Yeah. It came out like last week. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm assuming your reaction there is your opinion of the movie there, Andrew?
No, it's complicated. It's complicated. Let's just say that.
Gotcha.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, either way, that is the article. Andrew is a staff writer at Geek News Now Network, on top of an excellent guest on the MCU's Bleeding Edge.
Very nice of you to say, Jeff. Thank you.
So we just want to make sure that you all know, if you want to check out any of his content, I'll have it in the description. Moving on from Blade, Eternals, and the end credits scene, I wanted to get into Echo. And I know that Jesse has not seen any of the Hawkeye series yet. But Jesse, you know who Echo is, right?
Well, actually, this is the first time I'd ever heard of him. Reading this article, I should say of her, because I saw where this was in the 90s, the very late 90s. I was not picking up said Marvel comic that Echo appeared in, so I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, this is the first time I'd ever heard of Echo. What an interesting backstory, and this makes Hawkeye that much more interesting to me. But go ahead, sir.
No spoilers for me. I haven't watched the 3rd episode yet.
Oh, she's going to take your headphones off and run.
I don't have to. The dog's probably going to chew through the headphone cord in 5 minutes.
Well, so basically, what we're working with here is from invert.com. We've got Hawkeye episode 3 confirms a huge rumor about a Netflix Marvel crossover. Now, this is something that I know Jesse does know about, at least on one side of it. And that's the fact that those of us who did see Hawkeye episode 3 know that at one point when you see Maya Lopez's introduction story in the beginning of the episode, her father comes to pick her up from karate practice or whatever, and has her uncle with him. And all you see is an arm and a shoulder. But it looks pretty clear to me like it's Kingpin.
Yeah.
It's a big guy.
Yeah.
Kingpin pretty much did raise her in the comics, so that is canon.
Yes. And so basically with this article here on Inverse, what we end up with here is episode 2 ended with a huge villain reveal, finally giving Marvel fans a glimpse at Maya Lopez, also known as Echo. In episode 3, we learned about her upbringing as a deaf child raised by her father, and the world doesn't understand her. By the end of the episode, a mysterious figure only referred to as Uncle had been mentioned a number of times, but the only glimpse of the character was a hand pinching Maya's cheek after a karate match. So would this Uncle be considering he's a true villain of the entire show? To comics fans, there's only one real explanation. Kingpin is back. Here's everything you need to know. So they go into the whole backstory of the Kingpin, which, just to make it very clear, we've talked about this in the Bleeding Edge before. Kingpin raises Echo when her father dies. That's as simple as that. He's her stepfather. And I just want to reach out to everybody out here in the panel, starting with you, Jeff. What would you say if you had to rate it on a 1 through 10 scale? What would your rating be if we'll get Kingpin in the Hawkeye series? And then beyond that, what are your thoughts on whether or not that is Kingpin, and etc.?
Yeah, it is Kingpin. I don't know who else it could be, because Crazy Horse isn't going to refer to anybody else's uncle except for Kingpin. I like the way they did it in this in this last episode of Hawkeye. I like the story, even though it's a little bit different from from the original story, but it's I understand why they did it. But yeah, Kingpin's going to be there. I think he'll probably pop up probably in 5, maybe. They may show him. I just hope they give him, some screen time. I hope it's not like a silhouette of him in the background. I didn't like the fact that all they showed was a hand. But it's definitely Uncle because her father, he worked for Kingpin. So
okay, so are you 50% sure he's
I'm
going to be in the
about
show?
I'm about 87.99% sure.
That's really close to 88.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I'll go 100%. I mean, there's no other Uncle. That's I mean, her dad, clearly the way they've set up this series, these first 3 episodes, there's definitely a sense of something sinister going on, other than just the tracksuit mafia.
They need a villain. The Tracksuit Mafia are like a bunch of jokes.
Right.
Like they're
Right.
not
There's
even-
a lot more sinister going on. I think her mom played a major role in her dad's death, in Kate Bishop's dad's death. I think we're going to see the swordsman pop up. We just saw him at the end of this last episode. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff to piece together.
The actor that plays that character, Tony Dalton, says that he's not going to be the swordsman.
Oh,
really?
There's no other way. He's got to be.
He's got the mustache, though.
He said
he's got the mustache, all of the swords in the house.
I'm just telling you what he said. He said he's not going to be that character in the Hawkeye series. He's not going to be.
I hope he's just bluffing.
Maybe he'll be the swordsman in the next season. I mean, that we're gonna get more with Kate Bishop's character, and I mean, forgive me, if we're getting Kingpin and Echo, and we know that Yelena is gonna pop up from the Black Widow movie. Maybe they felt that adding, maybe they thought that adding swordsman was too much.
Do you think they'll just do do you think they'll just do like a 45-second shot of Yelena? Or do you think they'll actually give her some lines?
They better give her some lines. She's an amazing Florence Pugh is an
I'm just
amazing
curious
actress.
how they're going to do it, because I mean we only have 3 more episodes left.
I know, it's crazy.
So I mean they're going to have to cram a lot of stuff in the next 3 episodes.
Andrew,
but yeah, that's Kingpin, Jeff. To answer your question, I'm 100% positive.
Okay, and I'll hold you to that. Andrew, what are your thoughts, brother? What do you think? What's your what would you rate the us getting Kingpin and Hawkeye?
Again, I never read the Matt Fraction run of Hawkeye. I don't have that much knowledge about Echo as a character, but I've seen and heard enough rumors about this. I mean, I think last time when we got together, Jeff, we watched like that fan-made trailer where they kind of integrated like footage from Daredevil in there, and it looked convincing, but then we realized something wasn't adding up. I mean, the gait of the guy's walk, like you can see like him like walking into not his his upper body, but it's just the size of the person who walked in seems like a larger person, like a larger man. So
yes,
I don't know. I don't remember the voice. I like rewinded it a couple of times, but I still couldn't like definitively say, oh yeah, that's Vincent D'Onofrio. But it's a large person who would perfectly fit that role. And then them being coy with just saying uncle. It's like if it was just whatever character, they wouldn't be coy with it. They wouldn't be trying to be cute with it, I'm thinking. So it must be like go ahead.
I don't think there was any audio, Andrew. I don't think you hear him speak. I think all you see is him physically.
Okay, so that's what I was thinking. I was like, do we hear any? Like, I wasn't sure. No. Maybe because when we get those, when it's echo, like we don't really hear anything. So I was wondering, I'm like, was there like a voice for like the audience, or was it just nothing because we're listening through her like point of view? So I wasn't sure. Okay, so nothing then. All right, that makes okay. So
hey, you know how it is.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
You never know. Like,
well, hey. It's not like we don't need more Vincent D'Onofrio playing that role. Anytime somebody needs an example of how amazing of an actor he is, you play them the Good Samaritan speech from the end of the first season of Daredevil. That scene still haunts me with how amazing he did it.
Good call, Alexis. I think that we all would be in agreement. Although, honestly, I have to ask you, I don't know, Andrew, I can't remember. Did you see the Daredevil Netflix series?
Yes. I saw all of it except for the last season. I still have not seen the last season.
Okay. I haven't seen the last season yet. That's the season post Defenders, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The first season is the best season, I think.
Really? I love the whole like conflict he has with Frank Castle. I love in season 2 with Punisher and all that.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, it's
yeah.
cool. I mean, the whole series is great. The whole series is great.
The scene when Punisher shows up and you hear the guy saying it was just one man, and then you see him slowly walking into the hospital. Oh my god, that was so good.
Oh, it was. So, you know, as far as the whole thing with Yelena Belova, I'd have to believe that she's going to have to pop up right here in probably episode 4 or episode 5. I mean, because they're not going to bring her in for nothing. She's going to have some kind of actual weight, I would think, in the series. How it's going to go down, I don't know. But I'm actually really, really looking forward to seeing her again. And I want to ask you, Jesse, since you haven't caught Hawkeye yet, kind of just, veering off, what are your thoughts on Yelena Belova? Because I know you saw Black Widow.
Right, yeah. Well, it's a good point that if there's only 3 episodes left, if they don't do anything in this season, I mean, you've got to have that be a whole arc or the whole season 2, because that really set up that last end credit scene in Black Widow set up this conflict that we're all waiting for. For some reason, my daughter hates Hawkeye, and I think a lot of it's because Black Widow died instead. All right, I don't know. I don't know why, but let me just say,
Jesse, I love your daughter to death. She's one of my best customers, but smack.
So she was like really rooting for say the name again. Yelena. Okay.
Just say Yelena. You don't have
Black
to say
Widow's sister, right? Black Widow's
that
sister.
works too.
Okay. She was really rooting for her. So, when we sit down and watch the series, if we don't get her in this first season, it better be, like I said, all of season 2, or there's going to be some people that are going to say that was a wasted moment.
Among them, your daughter.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, my daughter. Yeah, she will be really upset. She wants to see Hawkeye die. I don't know why.
Her and William would get along then from Geek Gauntlet podcast, because William can't stand Hawkeye either.
Yes, sir.
Which I don't understand, because I love Hawkeye. I thought everybody loved Hawkeye, but
his character is awesome. Yeah,
I've never had any problem with you. Never had any problem with her.
I like the idea that we've got a character who's balancing superhero and a family. Actually, this is something you don't see very often.
He's a blue guy. He's like, you need him in the Avengers. Like, without him, there is no Avengers. He's like,
he answered a lot of those questions in this last episode when him and Kate were talking. When they were eating, and he told her, he spent 20 years avoiding people, trying to hide. As a ghost.
The draw. Oh, well, let's not talk spoilers, but yeah, that was a good scene.
Yeah. I hate to say it. I deal with so many customers at the cons who hate that. They're with your daughter, Jesse. They hate that Hawkeye's the one who lived and that Black Widow died. But forgive me, so many of them, it's just they feel that it was an insult to women, that they killed off the female character, to which I'm saying I don't even look at it like that. I'm sorry. I know that Black Widow's an awesome character and all, but I really felt like it was a natural conclusion to her story. I thought it made more sense.
I'll have to ask if feminism is a part of her reason for hatred for Hawkeye. Who knows? I just know when he shows up on screen, all I hear is, I hate him. I'm like, what happened? I mean, this guy, he only helped save the world. That's all.
What did you guys think that they finally included Hawkeye's deafness?
Look, cool. Not seen the series.
I like that.
Yeah, I was going to say I've not seen the series, but I've heard about it, and I'm glad that they did something like that.
Yeah.
Well, jumping off again in a different direction, as always, I've always gotten a little bit of a wild card for y'all here on the Bleeding Edge, just to kind of change things up a little bit. So, real quick, Alexis, I think I've already watched this with you once, but I haven't watched it with Jesse or Andrew or Jeff, so.
light hits the sky, it's not just a call. It's a warning.
I've been trying to reach you. Find the gun!
This is about a king, and Ritter's the match.
I can take care of myself.
If this continues, it won't be long before you've nothing left.
I don't care what happens to me.
It's only gonna get worse for you.
Whoa, take it easy, sweetheart. Hear everything they say, ain't you?
Maybe we're not so different. Who are you under there?
I'm vengeance.
What's black and blue and tan all over? You. Dick.
I got you! I got you!
March 4th.
All right.
I think that dog liked it.
Oh, did you hear? You heard Cleo there?
Cleo definitely appreciated the Batman 2 second trailer. Look, all I can say
Actually,
about
guys, I'm sorry. That is actually the whimpering of I need to go let her out, so I will be right back.
All right, Alexis. So
I sound like I got to pee. Go ahead.
I've got a bottle right underneath me right now that I'm.
Hey, all right, there you go.
I'm going
Well,
right
I'm
now.
finishing this one, and I'm going to use it.
Yeah, I'm multitasking. Yeah, I'm telling you right now. I've seen both of the Batman trailers. I'm not going to play the first one right now, but it's freaking dope as hell. And I'm telling you right now, I would bet $100 right now that this Batman movie is going to be fucking awesome. Like straight up, it's going to be fucking great. Like I'm telling you, I just have a feeling. I don't care what, we'll see what happens, but my money is that it's going to be like a game changer. That trailer is awesome. I mean, what do you think, Jesse?
Yeah, man, I'm excited for the Batman. My goodness, it's been a while since I've sat down and enjoyed a real good Batman film. So I'm up for it. I think Pattinson's going to do a remarkable job. What we got there in the trailer looks action-packed. Hopefully everything, one of the things that those films tend to fall a victim to is just, I'm sure you guys have heard, let's hear the Batman origin yet again. I don't think we're going to be getting that. I don't think that that's what's going to be happening. I think they finally may have learned their lesson and been like, okay, let's get into a Batman story.
They're not doing it, Jesse. It's going.
I know, man.
Going straight into Batman year 2, his second year as Batman. From that point,
that's good. That's good. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
You think Pattinson looks legit as Batman?
I mean, I enjoy what I saw there. He isn't. I mean, look, the dude gets criticism because of the whole Twilight thing, and I let one role is not going to speak for an actor for me. I will absolutely let somebody have a shot at something solely based on their acting ability, not because of what's come before. They get typecast and stuff, and they get a lot of criticism. And in this case, I think Pattinson will do just fine.
Andrew, what do you think? Had you seen that trailer before?
You actually played that same trailer for me the first time I was on your show.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Did you enjoy it the second time?
Hey,
Yeah, it's still enjoyable. Yeah.
So what do you think now? I mean, you've caught it a couple times and whatnot. I mean, what are your thoughts? You heard what I said, what my proclamation was for Batman and how good the movie's going to be. What do you think?
I mean, I'm sure it's going to be good. I have a feeling it's going to be. I agree with you, Jeff. I do think it's kind of like I don't speak for most Batman fans. I'm not the biggest Batman fan, but I think a lot of people have been clamoring for something a little more like noir and gritty and kind of has like this like rough and. I mean, remember the first trailer where he just beats that guy to like within an inch of his life. He's just brutal and just like.
Oh, did you see him in that second trailer where he's beating the guy on the ground and all the cops like back up and everything or whatever? Like they all like retreat.
Right. Yeah, I'm not talking about the one. Yeah, but I was talking about the one where like the guys with the clown makeup and stuff.
Yeah,
like they approach him and he just bah, just repeatedly. It's like Jesus Christ, like he has anger issues, but like that's what people want. I mean, from Batman, you definitely want something a little more gritty. My favorite depiction of Batman is the Christopher Nolan, the trilogy, because I love the dialogue and the lines. Like those movies are so quotable and like they're memed like the hell back and forth. But like for me, like I think the first movie I ever saw in my life, I think, was the Batman Forever movie with Nicole Kidman and like with Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey. So like I've seen every Batman movie in theaters since. Because of Nicole Kidman, is that why?
Just the whole movie.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I was like, there's no context, but I'm excited for this. March, thankfully, isn't that far away, but this looks like what people want. I'm not sure. The movie looks very brown and very dark, like visually dark, not thematically, but like visually looks very dark and brown and orange, and I'm not really a fan of like.
But it's Gotham. It's Gotham. What do you
expect? Right, but there was also Gotham like in the Christopher Nolan trilogy where it's like a little more color varied and stuff. A little bit, not much, right? It's very covered in steam and smoke everywhere, but I don't know. Well, tonally it looks good. I hope the cinematography is just as good. So we'll see.
Two things got to be in a Batman trailer. Okay, low lighting, and it's probably going to be raining. And so those two were in the trailer. It's definitely a Batman.
Alexis, what about that end of that trailer where you see the car chase and then you see Batman horizontally walking towards the car and everything? Tell me that doesn't look awesome.
It does, and I've mentioned this before because, like you said before, you've played this on more than a few shows that I've guested on.
I love this.
I think he's excited about the movie.
Yeah, that I still can't believe that's Colin Farrell underneath the penguin makeup. He is completely unrecognizable.
Most definitely, he is. And I want to say that Zoe Kravitz looks pretty decent as Catwoman. From what we saw of her, she looked pretty good. Which is great because I mean, these currently right now, as far as like the CW DCEU shows that are going on right now, like Supergirl and whatnot and everything, and Batgirl or whatever, that stuff's a bunch of junk. So I mean, anything's got to be better than that. But Jeff, what'd you think of the trailer, man?
Man, I love it. I hope Pattinson does a good job, though. I mean, he was the last thing I saw him in. The most recent thing that I saw him in was The Devil All the Time on Netflix with Tom Holland and Sebastian Stan, and and he did a great job in that. But no, it's vicious, man. The fighting scenes in that's just vicious. And I'm so glad it doesn't seem like it's going to be a slow Batman, where we see him do a bunch of detective work. This looks like it's going to be straight up violent, And I can't figure out if we got the Riddler, Penguin, and then who are the clowns? Are the clowns going to be are we going to see a Joker?
I think the clowns are actually a little bit.
Because I was trying to figure out if they're with the Riddler or if that's like, if they're actually going to bring in another Joker. I didn't see any Joker in the background, so.
I'm thinking more Dark Knight Returns or Dark Knight Returns style with the mutants who flock around Batman in that book. Very Frank Miller-esque.
But it's dark.
I don't think we're going to get a Joker, Jeff. For everything that we've heard so far, there's not going to be a Joker in this film.
I really don't want there to be a Joker.
See, me either. That's what I was saying. I'm hoping that we stick with the Riddler, and maybe they might throw a Scarecrow in there or something. But
no,
Penguin and Riddler's fine.
The actor that's playing the Riddler is really talented. He was in shit. I'm trying to think of his name. Paul Dano from.
Now that's who's sitting at the bar at the beginning of that trailer, right?
Yeah. Who Will Be Blood? Yeah, Paul Dano. No, he's great. And in the first Batman trailer, he's really great. But
Pattinson is kicking some serious ass in this movie. I mean, the fight scenes look just awesome.
They do.
I mean,
yeah, they're great.
Batman, vicious, and that silhouette of walking to the car reminded me of the Batman versus Superman movie when he's walking in the rain to meet up against Superman. How in the cape and everything's in the background. That's exactly how it looked to me when he was walking up to that car. But I hope he does great.
Let me ask you, Jeff. I'm going to hold you to this, okay? A couple months from now, I'm going to hold you to this.
Shit, you're holding me like two things tonight.
What's your call on how good this Batman film is going to end up being when we actually get to watch it? Give it a rating. What do you think it's going to be? Give it a 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10. I'll give it an 8. Yeah, okay. I'll give it a high 8.
Jesse Starcher.
I'll go with 7.
Okay.
7.93.
You're being optimistic yet pessimistic at the same time.
Sure. No, Alexis. I think solid 7.
8.
Cleo.
That was actually Eddie barking, but it's Cleo.
Okay. Eddie, I apologize, Eddie. I didn't mean to bust your balls there. My bad.
No, that's Eddie barking because Cleo's trying to steal his food. Eddie is trying to set up some. Eddie is okay. So Eddie follows me everywhere because he's my shadow. But I had to feed the dogs. That's why she was growling. Actually, she wanted food. So I realized that if I put Eddie's food out, but then I come in here, he will walk in here, leave his food alone, and Cleo will eat it. So I dragged his food in here with him. Like, here, you can eat the food while I'm recording. But yeah, now Cleo ate her food, and now she's following Eddie around. Like, so you're gonna walk away from that, and then I can eat what's left, right? And Eddie is so pissed.
Okay, Andrew, what's your rating? What do you think? What's your call on Batman when it comes out?
What just happened?
Give me a 1 through 10 rating. What do you think Batman's going to be like when we actually see it?
You're talking to me, Jeff? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Andrew. Yeah.
Oh, the screen went black, and then you're muted, so I had no idea what just happened. That transition. I don't know what happened.
I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah. Andrew, your screen is frozen.
Oh, is that what happened? I see.
Yeah. We still see your face, but it's not moving.
Oh, okay. That's weird because
I can hear you and see you.
All right, I'm moving my head a lot. I'm gonna thinking an 8 too. 8 seems like a safe number for like a movie that should do well financially. It'll probably be critically acclaimed. I'm thinking, are we going off the Rotten Tomatoes score or our own personal?
No, off your feel off the trailers.
Yeah, 8 feels good. 8 feels about safe, I'd say. So
I'm going 9.5. I'm gonna leave just a little bit of
very optimistic.
For air.
Well, with how many times you played the trailer, it better be a 9.5.
We want you to rate the movie, not the trailer. Rate the movie. What do you think the movie's going to do? 9.5, huh?
9.5 right there, baby.
All right. Somebody hold him to that, all right?
0.56.
I am on that Batman dick, baby. I'm on there.
Writing it on out. All right.
Yeah.
Good
all
deal.
The way. So, anyways. So Tom Holland's Spider-Man will be getting another trilogy in the MCU, producer says. This is from Deseret News. Will Tom Holland return to the MCU? This is, of course, this is from November 29th from Herb Schreibner. And this is based off of Amy Pascal confirming to Fandango that Tom Holland's Spider-Man will return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe for a new trilogy of films after No Way Home. Now, she says this is not the last movie that we are going to make with Marvel. This is not the last Spider-Man movie. We are getting ready to make the next Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and Marvel. We're thinking of this as 3 films, and now we're going to go on to the next 3. This is not the last of our MCU movies. So, all right, panel. Sony insiders have already come out and said that there's nothing official in the cards, that there is no official word that there's going to be them doing any more Spider-Man films. But this is Pascal talking about it a couple days from now. What do you think? Going to you, Jeff. Do you think that I
heard a lot of different things too. One thing I heard was that Tom Holland was ready to move on and do something else because he's been doing the Spider-Man stuff. But now I don't know how accurate that was.
Do you know how much money Tom Holland's going to end up making if he does another trilogy with Marvel and Sony?
I mean, if he does, think about it. They're going to have to transition, and they can do it. They can transition him from, I guess, high school now
to
college, and then, have him in the college. I guess they can do it. That's the first that I'd heard of that, because, like I said, the last thing I had heard was that he was ready to move on to other things, to do other movies. Now, I don't know if that means, other Spider-Man movies. He didn't say. He just, from what I've read.
The Avengers is still the Avengers at the end of the day.
Right.
It's the what is it, like 2 out of the 3 most highest grossing films in box office history were both Avengers films. So, I
mean, I can honestly say that that's one of the Marvel characters, and I hate to say it, but I will be honest. I have never been a big follower of Spider-Man. I just never have been. I mean, it's not that I've never read his stuff. I know the story and everything, and I know the characters and all, but I've never been a big fanboy of Spider-Man. It's just never been my favorite Marvel character.
Well, that's okay. At the end of the day,
but I like Spider-Man.
You know as well as I do, Jeff, Marvel Studios is going to make more Avengers films. And it's going to be sooner than later that it happens, too, I think. And they're not going to do the Avengers without Spider-Man, without Tom Holland. And at the end of the day,
they spent too much money getting him on here now.
I don't get the vibe from Tom Holland. Jesse, what do you think? I don't get the vibe from Tom Holland that he's one of those artsy, like Edward Norton types that's going to pass up on $60 million a movie or whatever.
No, I don't either.
Listen, did Tom Holland say that? Because if it came out of his mouth, most likely you probably shouldn't put any stock in it. Because I think when he got called out for accidentally revealing a few things a while back, he's finally just decided, I'm just going to say anything I want, and people will either believe it or not. And I don't buy it.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, I think that he would most likely. Dude, if you want to make money, I would think that you do, sir. Why don't you go ahead and stick with making the Spider-Man films? And so I was trying to think of which actor in the MCU has done the most, been in the most films. I would assume is it
Robert Downey Jr. or Black Widow.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go. So, another 3 Spider-Man movies under your belt, and possibly getting in any additional Avengers movies that are coming out or whatever. I don't see why you'd want to pass that up. And just think about what would actually happen if he did move on. Now, Marvel could do some things to kind of set things up. What you'd be doing is you'd probably put in your, if you can, get a live action Miles Morales in there and go with the Ultimate Spider-Man, or Miles Morales. And this Spider-Verse thing, wouldn't that be something if that was a post-credit scene and we get a Miles Morales in there, or I should say Spider-Man No Way Home. Just setting up some things. But Tom Holland walking away from cash, he would be a better man than I if that was the case. There's a mountain of cash. Okay, well, I'm just going to go over here and do my my little art film.
Look at his popularity too. I mean, as the character, it's just through the roof.
well, the poor teenage girls would be crying if he walked away from Spider-Man. That's just the way it would happen. There would be floods
And
of
he's
tears.
making bank.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Alexis, what do you think? I think it's pretty certain that we're going to get a trilogy, at least out of Spider-Man with Sony and Marvel still yet, right?
Clarify for me, the article, did it say specifically Sony is doing another Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy? Or did it just say they're doing another Spider-Man trilogy?
She doesn't. Amy Pascal doesn't mention Tom Holland. She just says this is not the last movie that we are going to make with Marvel. This is not the last Spider-Man movie. We are getting ready to make the next Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland. Oh, here we go. With Tom Holland and Marvel.
Okay. Yeah,
we're thinking of this as 3 films. And now we're going to go on to the next 3. This is not the last of our MCU movies.
I'm with Jesse on this one then. Let's go ahead and bring in Miles Morales. I honestly, not that I don't love Tom Holland as Spider-Man, I do, but I think they would be smart to start setting up the next Spider-Man, if that is Miles Morales' same universe, or if we are getting a multiverse, different Spider-Man thing. I don't know, but I think that is the smarter move. Not to mention, we have seen the Miles Morales as a fan favorite. We know that the audiences love him, and I have no doubt in my mind that if Peter Parker were to step back from being Spider-Man in the MCU and Miles Morales were to step in, I do think that the audiences would love it.
Yeah, I mean, who else would do it? I mean, who else can you say, okay, well, Peter Parker's going to take a break. Who steps up and become? Are we going? I'm certain that the Marvel Cinematic Universe wants to avoid the clone saga with all it can. So it's not going to bring in Kane. It's not going to bring in the clone Peter Parker. Whatever. It's got to be Miles if anybody's picking up the torch.
Well, did you hear the news, Jesse, about the new director that's going to be directing Captain Marvel 2?
I can't wait to rewatch this so I can see what that was.
I don't know who that was.
What the flying fuck did that have to do with Captain Marvel?
Is there a Brie Larson joke in there somewhere?
Oh my God!
I don't
even want to know, Jesse.
All right. I'm glad I couldn't see it then. Too much history.
It was a bald chick in a warped video making her look like a hippo with a Waluigi style.
Waluigi, yeah. The hat.
Rest of the show,
I
Jeff,
genuinely do not get what the hell it meant.
all I want is just for you to play video clips, and then I want Alexis to describe it to me so I can figure out what the hell I watched and just hear what she has to say.
Oh man,
and
I'm gonna
try her best to describe it.
Jesse, when the show's over, I'm gonna send you all the clips on Facebook.
Fantastic.
Messenger.
Put it in the show notes.
Mark,
That's what we were looking at.
In the comments, Mark's like, literally just tuned in, and that's what I just saw. Yikes.
Welcome to the show, Mark. Glad you're joining us and watching.
Oh my God. Jeez, we got Mark.
Not the best first impression.
Mark, what is going on, man? I'm telling you, Mark. I'll tell you what. Mark has a link for Restream. So being an intelligent man as he is, he knows if he ever just wants to jump onto the studio and pop up, he can. So
he can do it.
You know,
nice.
He's got that kind of play over here on the bleeding edge. So, anyways, yeah, I got to be honest with you. I mean, Jeff, I don't know about what Tom Holland has said or hasn't said. I'll be honest about it as far as his future or whatever. But at the end of the day, he's so damn popular as Spider-Man. Spider-Man is so popular that I just can't see how he'll walk away from playing that character. He's gonna cash in. He's gonna bank. By the time they get to the next set of Avengers films, he's gonna be making like $60 million a movie or something like that. Like seriously, like Robert Downey Jr. money. We got Mark. Hi, Jesse. Thanks, Jeff. Driving home from seeing Wolf. Is Wolf a movie?
It's a
I
very
hope it
interesting.
is.
It's a very interesting independent film featuring, if I got it right, teenagers who have mental disorders where they think they're animals.
Oh, I have seen the trailer for that one.
Yeah, I just remember I saw they were talking about it on the network chat, and one guy basically was like, "Wait, you saw the Jack Nicholson movie?" And everyone's like, and now we're all going, "Wow, now we feel old. Thanks for that."
So you're talking about like the deer people, like those people who think they're deer?
Something like that.
I don't know.
It's not just limited to deer.
Yeah,
That
I just
sounds
saw
great.
one teaser for it, and I was like, okay. Mark and I keep making jokes about how we need to review more awards bait style movies. So
Awards bait.
Well, I was on TikTok the other day in the comment section of one of my videos, and I told this one person, I was like, I'm a tree person. So respect my pronouns, bitch. I'm made out of bark.
Jeff.
I'm a tree. A tree person. There are people out there who consider themselves tree people, and they want respect.
That's why I don't leave my basement. Okay, I'm just
there's people out there. They want to be called tree person. That's like
more
what
power
they
to
want to be
them.
called.
That's
like
funny.
Groot, right?
Yeah,
just like Groot.
Like Groot, but non-binary.
I didn't have enough alcohol at the company Christmas party to deal with this.
Go get another beer, Alexis.
Like Groot, but trans at the same time.
I want a beer now.
Anyway.
Get me out of here.
So, as far as the whole Sony Doctor Strange, now, one thing I will say is that we've never actually gotten any details from Sony or Marvel in terms of what kind of new sharing agreement they've made to use Tom Holland in the MCU. They've never released the details on any of that. But I want to ask you guys, basically, when it comes to Sony and when it comes to Marvel Studios, I think we all already know that Sony basically makes they're the ones making the money off of this whole exchange, basically, at the end of the day.
They're benefiting,
yeah. So, what do y'all think about Sony? Like, I mean, they're going to be doing a Kraven the Hunter film with Taylor Aaron Johnson that played Quicksilver. He's actually going to, he's going to be in the Sonyverse. They're going to do.
Wait, they want him to play Kraven?
Yeah, he's going to be Kraven.
Yeah, that was announced back like in June, I believe. That's when they first announced it.
There's a miscasting of epic proportions if I've ever heard one.
Well, what do you think, Andrew? What do you think about Sony's Sonyverse? Do you have what do you make of it?
I do remember this because I remember being so confused because I actually wrote an article about it when they first announced that, and I was like, wait, like this really skinny guy, they want him to be Kraven? Like what? Like, okay, interesting. Maybe they see something I don't see, but it's a real, like Alexis said, that's a really bizarre casting choice. If they can pull it off, more power to them. I don't know how. I don't know what the angle would be. Has Kraven ever been like part of like a bigger group? I actually don't know. Has he?
Yeah, he was a part of one version of the Sinister Six, I believe.
So that was the first thing I thought of too. Was like it's somehow tied to the Sinister Six.
Yeah,
I know he's palled around with his rogues gallery, but I can't think of
I've heard from other people too who just like people who have like YouTube channels also or like have their whole like digital persona around the Marvel stuff that they're trying to craft some kind of Sinister Six like with Morbius and like it's distinct from the the No Way Home Sinister Six, like a different set of Sony specific Sinister Six kind of thing. I don't know if they're maybe they're just continuing trying to build up their own universe with Venom and all that and Morbius and the connection with Vulture and all that stuff. Like they could be trying to make something that's going to be like kind of how Venom can stand on his own. I wonder if they're trying to make like a Sinister Six team up movie that can stand on its own without maybe Spider-Man. Who knows?
They have the rights.
Disney just needs to buy Sony already and get it over with.
Well, Alexis, that Sony has the rights to like something crazy like 280 or 300 and something different characters from the Marvel comics.
Not only that, Sony owns Ghostbusters. Can you imagine what would happen if Disney owned Ghostbusters?
Oh boy.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know.
Lots of
I think
marketing.
it could be I think it could be a potentially a very good thing.
Oh, okay.
I also think it means we'd get some more animated Ghostbuster series on Disney Plus, and I have no problem with
That's not
that.
a bad thing.
I don't care who has anything to do with Ghostbusters. If it has to do with that Ghostbusters chick with all the ladies in it and whatnot a couple of years ago, that shit was a fucking bomb.
Was it that bad? I never saw it, actually.
You'd have to pay me to watch that shit.
It wasn't that good. It had some clever parts of it, and I could see why younger kids thought it was kind of cool. But all in all, no, it just wasn't that good. If not to mention, a lot of the jokes felt very forced. There was a lot of comments. It was like there were some really funny jokes in there, and I'll swear to God, Chris Hemsworth is hilarious when he does comedy because he was great in it. He was really funny.
Yeah, I enjoyed his part in there.
Yeah, but there were so many scenes. It was just like, I mean, there's one scene where somebody draws some graffiti angering, I think it's Leslie Jones's character. And then when you step back, you realize he's drawn the original Ghostbusters logo. And then one of the other girls goes, wow, I think that kind of looks like a logo for us, and snaps a picture. And it's like, oh my God, did you need to spell that out for us?
Oh man. Well, okay. So have they said what the Craven plot's going to be about at all? I mean, anybody?
They have not. I'm hoping it's going to be Kraven the Last Hunt from the Spider-Man comics.
That was one of the most depressing stories I've ever read and covered on my show. We talked about,
isn't it, Jesse? It's very depressing.
Yeah. I mean, it's if they do that, I mean, it's like good luck getting a sequel then, because the way that ends is not good. Although he does come back, believe it or not, Kraven the Hunter does come back after the end of that storyline. But I think that it probably depends. It really depends on how Morbius is going to do. I mean, if Morbius does well, then we'll probably start seeing the development of this Sony Spider-Verse or whatever they're doing.
They're going to turn him into a hero. That's what they've been doing. They turned Venom into a hero. They're turning Morbius into a hero. They're going to find a way to turn Kraven into a hero. They want
Kraven is. I don't understand why Kraven though. I mean, like he's got to be. He's always felt like a villain to me. I can't say that I've ever read anything.
He's going to be a villain. I think he's going to be a villain. And Jeff, you tell me. I feel like they're already starting to kind of make it look like they're going to end up doing Venom as like a team up with Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've yet to see the second Venom movie. I really need to get out and see that movie, but I don't know. I don't know. You're talking about I feel.
Oh man. You there, Jeff?
I don't hear him.
Oh, geez. The ghost got him.
You invited Lord Death in the background in a minute.
All right. Anyways, Jeff, that was a great response, but hopefully you'll pop back on.
Mark says something interesting in the chat. He says, I don't know if it's true, but he says, I think Disney is prevented by law from buying another company. Is that true?
Let's take that with a grain of salt, and I'll look it up as we discuss.
I'm on it. Come here, come here.
Find out if Mark Radulich is telling the truth.
Because that sounds like
I certainly doubt that man sometimes.
That sounds very vague. I'm like, what if Sony just wants to acquire like, I don't know, like a sound company? Or they like no, you can't do that now. Like
too much. It's monopoly.
Oh,
yeah,
that's hilarious. Can Disney buy Sony? Was the top of the search engine.
All right, that fits.
But I am not seeing anything that. Hang on a second.
No,
is there a reason Donnie can't buy Sony?
My only thought is because Sony is a Japanese company, and Japan has this thing where you can their companies cannot be owned by foreign entities. So I'm wondering if that might be an issue.
Yeah, I am seeing some anti-monopoly laws, and I am seeing that. The problem with Sony is that when everyone thinks about buying Sony, they think about buying Sony Studios. But Sony is a massive tech company that is owned
They have a gaming branch, a music branch, their telecommunications branch, and also the movie branch. Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually some people here who are saying Sony's probably actually worth more than Disney when you factor in their media conglomerate.
Real? Okay, that's news to me. Well, they do have their hands in a lot of things. Yeah, that
Could be.
Kind of maybe.
Could be. But
I think they do have like contracts that are exclusive to Asia, where like Disney wouldn't be able to like operate in certain like markets. So
yeah. Apparently, Sony's net worth is about $37.45 billion, and Disney did just cough up $71.3 billion to buy Fox.
Jeff, you there, brother? Oh, we almost had him. All right. Well, guess what, guys? Last article. Wrapping this whole shebang up. Oh, we almost had Jeff again. Benedict Cumberbatch addresses his MCU future after Doctor Strange 2. Is there more strangeness to come? This is from digitalspy.com. And essentially, Benedict Cumberbatch has addressed his future as Doctor Strange in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Oscar nominee has a pretty busy Marvel schedule in the next few months, which we all already are very aware of. Beyond that, the picture remains somewhat unclear, though it seems that Cumberbatch is open to continuing as long as the information is challenging. He told USA Today, as long as the character is interesting and challenging and doing fantastic things in the MCU, why not? It comes after the actor addresses the reshoots for Doctor Strange 2, Alexis, for the Multiverse of Madness, with the sequel pushed back a year from its original planned release. We're in the middle of reshoots. He told Empire Magazine, we're working incredibly hard to make a schedule work, to realize the full potential of the film. Bits that we want to do better, but also bits that were just impossible to do on the day because of logistics, COVID, etc. We were so delayed in production because of that. Luckily, not during production too much, although everything is just a little slower. So we already know that obviously Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange is going to be in Spider-Man 3 in a couple weeks. What do you guys think about Doctor Strange's future overall? I mean, outside of the article, Jesse, what do you think about? I feel like Doctor Strange has got a spot in the MCU that's going to be pretty solid for a long time.
Yeah. Look, if we're looking at some of the, I don't want to call him a B character because Doctor Strange is not a B character. I mean, he's been one of the most powerful. He's one of the most powerful beings in the MCU. But as far as Benedict Cumberbatch keeping the role and playing the role, when it comes to money, Tom Holland's got a mountain of cash. I don't know how much cash is in front of Benedict Cumberbatch for this role. So he may feel the urge to go and do something a little off the beaten path that's not Marvel Cinematic related. Now he says that I think in this article, he says that he's as long as this remains interesting. Now that's the key. Okay. So that's kind of his out, in my opinion. If you're going to go on record and you are asked, hey, you going to stick around with the Doctor Strange for a while? And he's like, well, as long as it remains interesting, you can officially say at some point, it's not interesting to me anymore. And he's got his out.
He says, all I'll say is we have some very, very exciting things to be talking about. I don't know what those things are or what they will transpire to be, but it looks like it's an incredibly bright future ahead. And as I've said before, Spider-Man will forever live in me.
Now, here's the thing.
Spider-Man 3.
You're actually reading. They put a quote from Tom Holland at the end of this article because they started tying it back to Tom Holland. They talked about Amy Pascal on this, and that is actually a quote from Tom Holland because he's saying, "Oh, yeah, I think somebody called him out or asked him, hey, yeah." So, as for Doctor Strange, he's a solid player. I wanted to see him a little bit more, but I don't think that if he went away, there would be too many people upset about it. The Multiverse of Madness is probably going to be, as far as story goes, one of my favorite stories that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to put out there, just because I mentioned it like first thing on the podcast. This new Spider-Man movie is going to check a lot of boxes for me when it comes to storytelling and stuff that I enjoy. You got multiverse in the freaking title of the film. So I'm excited about this Doctor Strange film that's coming up. But the thing is that I don't know if there's going to be a lot of people that are going to share the same excitement. So it all depends on how they keep the character relevant, I guess is probably the best way to put that. They need to make him relevant. They need to make him mean a lot more. And putting him in a Spider-Man film is a big deal. Don't get me wrong. Having Doctor Strange in there is a very big deal. So.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, Jesse, no, I mean that's a great comment. But Alexis, don't you think it's pretty clear that there definitely is a future that's very bright for Doctor Strange in the MCU? Because and I know that we're going to get that supernatural aspect of the MCU coming eventually with Blade, Moon Knight, the Dark Knight, the Black Knight, Ghost Rider, Morbius. We're going to have that supernatural Werewolf by Night. We're going to get that part of the MCU of Marvel Comics eventually at some point in live action, right?
Probably. Not to mention the fact that, everyone keeps comparing them to Spider-Man as far as the movies and everything. Cumberbatch has not been in nearly as many movies as Tom Holland has.
No.
Benedict Cumberbatch, we had the first Doctor Strange. He had a very brief role in Thor Ragnarok. And he was in the two Infinity War and Endgame. So I think that there's more room for him to do more movies just because, like I said, he hasn't been in a ton of them yet. And there's also the fact that, again, Thor Ragnarok and in Endgame, he wasn't in those movies that much. He had very small parts. Everything was standing. So I can't really say, about how much we're going to see out of him when we haven't even gotten his second movie officially out yet. So.
Okay. I think we lost Andrew for a minute. Jeff, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great. Jeff, what are your thoughts
I don't know what happened.
What do you think
We
about
were making fun of you behind your back while you were gone.
That's all right.
What do you think about Doctor Strange's MCU future? You think Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be in the MCU for a long time?
Oh, yeah. We're not even mentioning anything about it, but Doctor Strange 2 is going to have Doctor Strange in there. It's going to have Maximoff with Scarlet Witch. And then down the line, you've got Ant-Man. What is that? Quantumania? Is that right?
Quantumania.
All right. You're going to have Kang as the main villain in the Ant-Man movie. Kang is the time traveler. They've introduced us to Kang and Loki. They're definitely going to the time travel, the multiversal sites for sure. Doctor Strange plays a key role in that. So does Scarlet Witch. So they're opening the door up for a lot of things. So yeah, Doctor Strange is going to be around for a while. In Endgame, he only had one line, I think, and that was when he looked at Wong and was like, "Is this everybody?" I think that's all he said. I don't even think he was in any other part of Endgame, was he?
He talked to Tony too.
Did he? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's right. But that was just like a split. That was long enough for Tony to say, "Tell me you were right." And he's like, they had that one little sentence or two.
Oh
but he didn't do a whole lot in Endgame. So
there's a lot of room there, Jeff, for him to.
Yeah. The only movie he's had. The only big movie was the first Doctor Strange movie. The rest of these have been cameos, so he's going to be around for a while, especially introducing Kang and all these other villains that are coming up.
Well, I don't know how connected he'll be to Kang, but Andrew, going over to you, I feel like, without question, I don't know Benedict Cumberbatch's personal situation. I don't know what he wants to do, in his career, acting wise and whatnot. But just like with with Tom Holland with Spider-Man, you got to figure he's going to get paid good money for these films that he's making for the MCU. And honestly, Andrew, the pulse that I get from people is that a lot of damn people, Jesse, are really excited for this movie. A lot of people are. What do you think, Andrew?
You're talking about Multiverse of Madness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say it looks good, but I haven't seen anything of it. There was, I don't know if it's true or not. There was like a leak supposedly from one of the toys that's tied with the movie. That isn't like the villain supposed to be Shumagorath. Has anybody else heard about that?
Shumagorath.
Yeah, the toy leaked.
There you
By
go.
the
That's
way-
right. There's a toy leak. Go ahead.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of Kang and everything, did you guys see the release today about the sneak peek at Kang?
That was awesome.
I
Yeah,
did not. I
sent you the
saw it,
link,
I heard
Jeff.
it, but I didn't go look at it.
Jeff, I just texted you the link actually a few minutes ago. So apparently the crew that's filming Quantumania, they have a special picture on their T-shirts of the shattered Ant-Man helmet, and you can barely see Kang reflected in the helmet. And I'm just gonna say right now, I know it's a photo of a screen print of a reflection off of an uneven surface. That image is going to give me nightmares. Kang looks terrifying just based off of that.
That's awesome, isn't it?
Very
That was
much.
a great pick.
I love Jonathan Majors. I cannot wait to see more of him in this
No,
role.
most definitely. I can't either. And Andrew, what do you? I mean, you tell me what's the vibe you've gotten from people that you've talked to as far as the excitement for Doctor Strange 2: Multiverse of Madness?
Other people who I've even talked about it with, most of them are just excited to see. They want to see Scarlet Witch just go bonkers, crazy, insane with her new, what seems like her like awakening abilities and stuff. People have like this idea that, I don't know how far fetched it is, but that Multiverse of Madness might be the actual Marvel film that actually introduces us to mutants. Maybe that's what a lot of people that I've heard have mentioned that, because ever since the acquisition, people have been like, "Where are the mutants? Where are the mutants? Where are the mutants?"
Bring it on. Bring it on.
And a few people that I've talked to seem to think that if any of them can introduce, if any of the films are going to introduce, so a lot of people seem to be pretty excited about it, the potential of what the movie could be. I'm just curious to see like what's going to be the. I want to see how, what do you call it, how No Way Home leads into that, because we kind of saw a little bit of how WandaVision kind of projected going in that direction. I want to see like what is the, and excuse me the pun, the nexus of all these movies coming together, like what's going to be the actual unraveling. And then with Quantumania, there's like a lot of dimension stuff going on. So like, is it going to be like a cluster? Is this whole phase just going to be like a cluster of like cameo, like, or is it going to be like a well fleshed out story? Is what I'm wondering about. So there you have it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Does anybody else have anything else to drop on this Doctor Strange topic before I go ahead and give everybody a chance to start plugging their own solo content and stuff like that, and we get out of here?
Just excited for it, man. Can't wait to see it.
All right. Well, since you already started talking, Jesse, do you want to go ahead and just plug anything you want to go ahead and plug as far as Radulich In Broadcasting Network and whatnot goes?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. With the Radulich In Broadcasting Network, we're being hosted by the W2Mnet.com. So if you get a chance, go check out either one of those things. Throw it into a search engine. I'm sure you'll be able to pull up anything that is involved with either of those networks. Myself, I do a comic book show over there called the Source Material Comics Podcast. Coming up very close to episode 300. I don't know how I'm going to celebrate that, but I've been doing that podcast since 2014. And upcoming very shortly, I think it's next week, Mark has the schedule in front of him, I'm sure. He isn't even in the comments now, but he's probably got the schedule in front of him. There is going to be a source material 4-part epic on the Spider-Verse that took place in the Spider-Man comics. And Benjamin J. Colon is going to be on the podcast with me. And we covered the 6 main parts of the story. However, both of us read all 22 tie-ins that came to, well, I should say all 22 issues, including the tie-ins. And I kind of talk about that at the beginning of it. So if you enjoy Spider-Man, if you enjoy what we're about to get in this movie, you're feel free to check out that podcast where Benjamin and myself get in there. We talk some Spider-Man, some Spider-Verse, Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen, Silk. I mean, all sorts of stuff. That's just, and I tried my best to explain what's going on, and it's tough. It is tough. So check that out. And also, I do a podcast called the Unspoken Issues Podcast, focused solely on 90s comics. It's an affiliation with the Unspoken Decade, which is one of the first 90s comic book websites out there. And we talk 90s comics. I just finished up Super Patriot #1. If you're a fan of Image Comics, maybe you're a fan of Eric Larson, you may know about Super Patriot. It come from the pages of Savage Dragon. That was a fun podcast. Got it recorded and about ready to edit, and that'll probably be airing sometime next week as well. And Alexis, I'll let you plug the trivia show so I can shut up now. So
go ahead.
Thank you very much for everybody for putting up with me and having me on here.
Jesse, it was great having you again, man. And honestly, Jesse does a great job hosting and moderating the trivia show that Alexis is about to plug.
That's right, Tripped Up Trivia. We just put out our trivia for November. That was a dog paw in my rib. Thanks for that, Cleo. Yes. We're getting ready, actually, to start recording here before too long. We're going to do December, which is, as you guessed, Christmas trivia. We're going to be talking Christmas movies, Christmas songs, Christmas traditions. We're still looking for contestants for that. So if you guys are interested, hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. Let us know. Jeff, Andrew, that goes to you guys as well. If you're interested in playing with us, let us know. But we always have a lot of fun.
Alexis, did you already do the Disney episode?
Yes, that was November. We had to go into bonus rounds because we had a tie at the end.
Yeah, first ever tie. It was crazy.
What is December's topic?
Christmas. It's going to be Christmas movies,
okay.
Christmas songs, Christmas traditions. Sorry if you couldn't hear me earlier. I'm trying to record and stay on camera with a dog going nuts.
So it's like a trivia show? Is that what you said?
Yes, it is our monthly trivia show. Jesse and I co-host it.
Yeah, Andrew, you probably do really well on there, man. I'll connect you with Jesse and Alexis once the show's over. I'll get you guys connected on Facebook so you can talk.
Okay. Jesse, do you do all the Radulich In Broadcast shows you guys have, or is that just
no? I just do a few. We have so many, and that's usually as you see Mark Radulich chiming in here. That man is the man behind the Radulich In Broadcasting Network, and he does the.
He is the patriarch.
We have wrestling shows.
Because I looked it up. I'm looking it up right now on Spotify, and I'm like, there's a history of heavyweight boxing. Like, if there's two things I love, it's history. I have a degree in it, and boxing. Only sport I watch is boxing. So I was like,
the guys talk fight nights every weekend.
Oh, man, you and Mark might be good friends then, Andrew.
I have material to listen to now. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. There's something's dropping right now. Something's dropping just about every day, if not like 2 or 3 episodes of. So, the heavyweight boxing stuff, I can tell you that both Mark and Pat Mullen know their history.
That's awesome.
I've heard you'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah, I feel bad. Mark and I were actually supposed to record this a few days ago. Oh, no, yesterday, actually, to talk about Animaniacs Season 2 on Hulu. And I kind of got the times mixed up, and he called me when I was asleep. So, yeah, Mark, I'm so sorry about that, man. So we rescheduled. We will actually be talking Animaniacs Season 2 and the latest season of the Looney Tunes on HBO Max at the end of December, December 30th, if I'm remembering correctly. So we got that. We just talked about Encanto. We're going to be talking Spider-Man No Way Home, of course, which I actually will not be on that one on the grounds of Mark is setting limits on how many people can jump in on our shows.
How many people are on it?
I think he said it to 3 people, 3 or 4 at most, because Jesse, I can't remember. Were you on our Falcon and Winter Soldier show?
No, the Custody of the Shield. I was not part of that.
Yeah, that show went on way too long because there was a big thing about the custody of the Shield, and it is a discussion that needs to go to hell.
Yeah.
So Mark has put limits on how many people can jump on a show, just so we don't go through that hell again.
Like, you're forgiven.
Well, it was really good to have you back on again. And for Jeff, I just want to say, Jeff, thank you very much for coming on. Jeff doesn't.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, Jeff doesn't have a podcast or YouTube yet. I'm sure
I
eventually.
don't have anything. I've got nothing.
No, but he is a very valuable guest on the MCU's Bleeding Edge. So, Jeff, thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And Andrew,
nice meeting all of you.
No, it was great to have you on, brother. Andrew, you have any last thoughts or plugs for your writing or anything on GNN or?
Yeah, sure. I do a lot of I'm a staff writer at the Geek News Network, Geek News Now Network. I mostly write about video games. That's my niche. I mostly just write about video games. Sometimes, rarely about movies or Star Wars stuff, but mostly video games. I actually, besides the Resident Evil review I just put out, I have a couple other stuff I'm gonna write this weekend to scatter throughout the rest of the week about the best games that I played this year, games to look forward to next year, and a couple of stuff like that. I also have a podcast that I do with my best friend called DuoSense Podcast, DuoSense, which is just, again, about video game news from like the past week and what we've been playing and stuff like that. So video games is mostly what my passion is, and then like Marvel and Star Wars stuff like secondary. But so yeah, check out the podcast if you can, or just checking on Geek News Now Network for some stuff I've written about.
Most definitely. Geek News Now Network is the shit. And we over here at the MCU's Bleeding Edge are really happy to be a part of the team and the roster over there on the Bleeding Edge. It's nice to compete with all the other really solid content creators over there. But just really quick, just to extend big thanks to Alexis for once again coming back. It's been a while. Good to see you again, Alexis.
Of course.
You're always, always nice to have you on the show. Jesse, thanks for finally coming on, man. We finally made it happen. You're as good a guest as you are a host, my friend.
I like to hear that.
Jeff, hopefully I'll see you again sometime soon, brother, on some more content.
Yes, sir.
And Andrew, of course, I'll be hitting you up to do another show sometime soon, brother.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, for the MCU's Bleeding Edge, this is Jeff. True knowledge in the house. Peace.